Welcome to the jungle. So, if you are in tech, you must have heard of the word Linux. But are you aware of the Linux Foundation that maintains this mammoth of a landscape which captures a lot of different frameworks, platform, libraries, tools, companies, projects across a wide variety of themes. So if you are doing a research as to what framework do you need, what tools do you need, or just looking for a way to categorize AI technology into different sort of capabilities, this website is for you. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into what this website is and how to use this. If you're an architect, this is for you. There's another version planned, which is cloud native, which is CNCF. And I'm going to do that in the next video. Probably that should come the next Tuesday or something like that. So let's dive in. So what this website is, it's an interactive map or rather a technology map, and there are about 368 cards, and this keeps on increasing. The market addressable cap is 13 trillions, and there's about $29.9 billion in funding, blah blah blah. Very interesting numbers. You can look at the landscape. You can go to a card mode, which will make it more scrollable and more digestible, because the landscape mode is very small, and we'll actually use the landscape mode because it's easier to see through it. And then you can also see the members who are participating in it, and we'll talk about the different categories and tiers. And there are different companies which are hosting projects and hosting companies that are also part of here. So the last is not so useful. This probably is useful. Card mode and landscape is where you're gonna spend most of your time. On the left hand side, you have a lot of filters. Now there are different levels in AI and data projects. Please understand that this is all AI and data. There will be a little bit of overlap with cloud, but that's a completely different set of capabilities. So there are three tiers. The first is graduated, which is what you should look at. Incubating is really early projects which are under research, active development. It's not always necessary that a project moves from incubating to graduated. So if you're exploring technology, good with incubation. But if you're kind of trying to use it in a production scenario, you should go to graduated. Sandbox is sandbox, archive is just old projects. You can also see non-Linux Foundation AI and projects, but again, not going to go there right now. It's just all. Then there's a lot of licensing granularity that you can see. So most people, and I want to categorize this, usually we believe open source is like you can do anything with it, but that's actually not true. There are copyleft, copyright licenses, and basically what these licenses mean is you would have to understand how these operate and how, what are the clauses within them. For example, if you have something under AGPL, any derivative work also needs to be open source. So you have to be aware of the licensing model, which is what open source license it is. Usually MIT is very safe, Apache is safe, a couple of them are pretty safe. What are the filters? I think organization, not going there. Headquarters, company, industry, you can filter by industry, but again, this is very wide. So the way this is grouped is there's different categories or swim lanes, verticals, horizontal, both. So there's machine learning. You can click on it and it will take you to the card mode, where it will show you all the different machine learning frameworks, platforms, and libraries. So this line of separation that you see talks about that. With deep learning, it goes to frameworks, platform, libraries, and tools. So what are the areas it addresses in AI? It's machine learning, deep learning, programming, reinforcement learning. Within data, you have an extremely wide gamut. You start with education, lineage, relational DB, storing and formatting it, versioning of data, operations on data, feature engineering, stream processing, SQL engine, visualization, pipeline management, labeling, governance. You name it, there's a tool out there, and the data ecosystem is very broad. Then around things you can do with model, which is kind of inferencing, federated learning, training, hyperparameter shifting formats like Parquet, Onyx, and all of that. Publishing your models to marketplace, managing model workflows, benchmarking models, and different tools are what is available under model. Then you have distributed computing, which is computing and management, interfaces, security and privacy is there. Then you have natural language processing, and very recently you have the new bucket, which is generative AI. This I feel is actually exploding right now and is very limited. I don't see a lot of tools out here. So if you are actually looking for tools around generative AI, it's best to, kind of do your own research around in this space. So going back, and then generative AI, you have notebook environment, and there are, I think Jupyter is probably a very, very mature framework, but it should be known that there are other frameworks like that, like Zeppelin is very good. Elira is also good. I have actually looked at it, but I'm gonna do a probably deep dive onto the Elira framework. Then you have Streamlit, Polynode, things like that. So there's different companies who use different derivatives of frameworks on tools like Jupyter, and this is basically what it is. And then a lot of stuff around trust and responsible AI, which is explainability, adversarial bias and fairness, and things like that. So very large list of tooling and very large list of frameworks, platform and libraries is what you can scan from here. I'm not going to deep dive into any because that will just make the video like days long, because each of this framework can be looked at very deep dive. And yeah, that's I think another way to look at it is card mode, which we have already been looking on and off. Want to talk a little bit about Linux Foundation AI and data members. There are premium members, general members, associate members, and a membership kind of carries some sort of a political power and influence over what graduates and what not. So if you find a product that's provided by the premium members, it's probably going to be paid, but it will be having a high weightage. Some of these companies might surprise you that they are present here, but yeah, they are. And fundamentally, this is a great website if you want to just go ahead and start to kind of capture this, to kind of build this and deep dive into the different tools out there. For more understanding, I'll probably click on one. So let's click on feature engineering and feast. And what it does, or you can rather take, let's just go this route. So we'll go by data route, and then under data route I'll scan through and look at feature engineering. So you click on feature engineering and you click on feast. So you can see all of the different states. So this is still in incubating, and if you click on that, it's going to give you all the incubation frameworks right now. Where did feast go? Okay, it vanished from here, never mind. And then you can find the GitHub link, you can find the Crunchbase link, you can find the LinkedIn information. Basically, you can find a little bit of information about the project that can give you some perspective into what the project is all about. And using this, you can go further and figure things out as you want to use it within your project, right? So that's a little bit deep dive into how can you look for tools, frameworks if you're doing very large exploratory exercise, and this can be a great starting point for any kind of architecture research. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.